Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, because I have extra time, client cancellations and stuff like that, I really wanted to rapid fire off some helpful things with the build. Number one, lethal pride in here, even without the strength increases, with just a base lethal pride, no percent, nothing like that, we can almost take off our amber amulet. If you had the passive tree but you didn't have the percentages, you'd still be at like with the base strength values that it gave you, you'd be above 160, potentially allowing you to take off an amber amulet here and using a int based so that you can get to 113 int, which for pretty much every single weapon besides Bino's is enough int in this build. So like your endgame, like a well-crafted dagger is 113, 95 int for the Imperial Claw, and then all the other uniques are 113. It is literally just a Bino's. Additionally, this is simulating the roll different range of a Bino's, so there's roughly 8% more damage gain from using a well-rolled Bino's in comparison to a not well-rolled Bino's. So there's a little bit of damage increase that you can get from a well-rolled Bino's. So might be potentially worth chucking a divine at it in SSF if I happen to get a Bino's and I use it and it has been rolled. So there's that to consider. Additionally, with this lethal pride setup, we have options to like drop the crit chance up here and accuracy if we get enough accuracy and gear, and take the tincture stuff because practice size reapplication is going to be really good. Additionally, this could have like double damage or something insane on it. And then these give you tinctures have increased effect. They recently in the Q&A said that tinctures will have the quality gives it more effect, so you can have 20% more tincture effect, which is insane. This build, even without a diamond flask and without the crit chance on the wheel, is like 90 to 96% crit chance, so like just insane crit. So you don't really need a diamond, you can just use an elemental tincture with like a granite flask or something like that. And then additionally, with the jewel up here, there is an old jewel from 3.24, the Grave Digging League, blanking on what we're actually supposed to call it, but it's called Perandus pact. I used one in a different build at the Scion area, but this is very optimal. If you have depth perception up here, it's going to save you, it's going to give you a lot of potential damage and a lot of potential armor. It all depends on like whatever roll you get. The jewel will be gated behind ritual. You need to do the new ritual boss fight and it will drop a jewel. Well, it has a chance to drop that jewel, and the jewel can give you like percent increased fire damage, percent increased lightning damage, percent increased like chaos res, which would be fine as well. It can give you ideally percent increased physical damage and percent increased armor, like two different rolls. So more defensive one would be the armor one and more offensive one would be the physical damage. And like the super endgame PoE, the physical damage one is like 1.5 million DPS increase, and like the budget version, it's like 600, 800k increase. And with the armor one, and this is not calculating like the new improved armor rolls, like you can tell here, like we literally have white hybrid items equipped, and we are simulating 200% increase, which is actually higher than 200%. But we're still able to get 18k armor. We're able to use like a molten shell. You can potentially use a Vol molten shell if you would like, but this is just going to make you substantially more tanky. So that's always a benefit. Granted, we are calculating Heartstopper as a hit, so Heartstopper as not active is 14k. And onto the next and final thing is conversion. I have oversimplified conversion. We are not using pulverize in this setup just because of the Bino's. It nerfs your attack speed too low, I think. Just to simulate right here, pulverize brings it down to 4.69, and not ideal. So I'm gonna say if you run a Bino's, run inspiration instead of pulverize. It'll also help you with the mana cost a little bit. So that might help you in the beginning when you need to run a slightly higher precision. So things to consider here. But for the PoB, the gloves have a physical convert to fire on it. It can be 20, it can be 25%, it really doesn't matter. And then the tree, we are converting the rest of it. Hold on, I need to go back. Here we go. We are converting the rest of the damage to the cold mastery, and we are not taking winter spirit because this makes our cold damage way too high. And then the remainder is from the lightning mastery here, 40% fizz converted to lightning. Additionally, if you really want to, you can drop all this fancy conversion bullshit and just run refraction. Just understand that your Vol Reave in a PoB like this is going to make you die to fizz reflect like instantly. However, for the sake of consistency with my conversion setup, this is utilizing precision, Herald of Ash, Blood and Sand, Herald of Purity, and Flesh and Stone. Flesh and Stone, when you are in sand stance, which is most likely what you're going to be doing while mapping, is going to give you, basically any mob near you is going to deal less damage. And if they're standing within 1.5 meter, according to the Q&A post that they did on the website, that is the base minimum range to get the 19% less damage taken from nearby enemies. So maybe in the beginning, when you don't have Fortify from the body armor, that can help save you in some situations. And if you don't have Heartstopper and we just average it out, the Sand Stance will help you. Blood Stance does give you more damage. However, the more damage is not coming from the Flesh and Stone. It is just coming from the Blood and Sand. So you can drop Flesh and Stone entirely as well, and you can run a Arctic Armor. Because you are stationary while pressing Vol Reave, this is very defensive. This is 20%, 21% less physical damage from hits and 20% less fire damage from hits. This will help out with your Dawnbreaker conversion stuff, so it'll make you a little bit tankier to the other elements as well. So Arctic Armor is another option if you don't want to deal with the headache of the sand swapping. Where is it? I should have just added that as another Flesh and Stone. There we go. I can never remember what this name is called for whatever reason. I always think it's just Blood and Sand, but it's not. But anyways, that's an option as well, because Flesh and Stone is conditional on where the enemy is located, and Arctic Armor is just conditional on if you are standing still or not. Additionally, that means that potentially at League start, you can drop one step ahead in favor of Heartstopper for early mapping, just give you more tank, because one step ahead, half the reason that we even take this is because you will not be able to be frozen or chilled, and it means that you can take a different major god instead of Brine King and be forced to upgrade Brine King. Instead, you can run like Sola Solaris, you can run Lunaris, you can make your build just substantially better by dropping Brine King. That's one of the best things. The only thing that's really nice is at League start, you're not going to get like chain stunned with Brine King. So at the very beginning of League start, always use Brine King until you can unlock some of the minor Pantheon powers with the major god system. I hope this has explained as much as I can about like the conversion stuff. This is like oversimplified conversion, but basically this will work. Your min fire is not above your min lightning. If you roll the gloves, how do I edit this again? If you roll the gloves to a base min 20%, this will not override the other conversion in the tree, and this will give you perfect rolls for Trinity. Your min fire is never above your lightning, your min cold is never above your lightning, and the top ends are all relatively competitive. However, one is above the other and one is above the other. So your lightning is above cold and your cold is above fire in all situations, this is perfect for Trinity. Perfect. So no matter what, you're always going to have Trinity. This does not need... this will get fucked up, I should say, if you are running any flat elemental. Like if you have like 50 flat fire from like all of your rings and jewelry and stuff, it's going to fuck it up. You can run flat lightning. You can additionally, if you just want straight damage, avoid all that stuff, and you can run Herald of Thunder. That'll boost up your damage a little bit. It'll make your shocks a little bit more consistently high valued. So this is all good things that you can do. Additionally, you can get like flat lightning on your gear. How should I name? Adds 5 to, let's just do 5 to 100. As you can see here, even with adds 5 to 100 lightning damage, which is what I would expect you to have if you rolled like lightning damage on like every accessory, basically. You know, like a league start situation. Your min lightning is not going above your max cold or fire, so this is still perfect for Trinity. So you can get as much min, you can get like probably even, let's just do, even like 200 flat lightning is fine. Like the flat lightning is just going to make your shocks more consistent. So that's something to consider with this build. And if you got flat lightning on your gear, that's just gonna increase your potential DPS like by a lot. Oh, this is Fall Reave. Let me go back to regular Reave. So that flat lightning is almost like a 1 mil increase into your DPS because we don't have like any flat sources at all. So this can come from any Abyss Jewels early on, accessories, your amulet, your rings, any of it will be fine. That's pretty much it that I wanted to cover in this video. I might make one other video strictly about Atlas passive trees. However, I'm still uncertain of what I want to do for League Start. This does mean, at least for this passive tree, if you want the extra accuracy, because you have no accuracy on your gear, it is going to make the build requirement level 93 for this tree. If you do have accuracy on your gear and you have like a Bino's, you can drop the accuracy nodes there. If you want to run tinctures, it's going to make it higher. Additionally, you don't need this jewel socket and this jewel socket early on. So a lot of the damage is very accessible mid 80s. And then past, let's just do the minimum requirement for getting all of this like synergized Trinity and everything else like that, and like really high crit with this extra power charge here while mapping, is level 84. And if you want to include this here, it's level 87, and then after that you can just start getting the extra life nodes to bump up the life. If you really want to get extra life nodes, you can come down here and you can really get that life extra high. 138% with the new life rolls on armor is going to be really comfortable. But I think 113 to like, I think 110 to like 130 is going to be like the new right side tree standard life practices. Like I really do think that, because the new life rolls on gear is going to mean that right side of the tree is going to just focus on more damage. That's just how this stuff plays out. Like there ain't nothing that you can do about it. That's it for this video. I'm glad I've got this one down to around just shy of 15 minutes, but that's really it. I do not have any intention of putting out any new like PoBs or anything else like that. This is just an information guide for those that are really wanting to play this build and really want to take it to the next level, as well as oversimplify the conversion. That's it for me. See ya. I'll make a video for like day 1, day 2, day 3, that type of stuff, but other than that, I don't think I'm going to make any other videos before League launch. See ya. Peace.